How's it going, YouTube? In this video I'm going to give you a quick look at the Rusty's rear Xtreme Trail Stubby bumper, the rear fascia cover, and their spare tire delete kit. First off, this bumper is going to be the easiest bumper you ever install. 2 factory bolts over here, same on the other side. 2 factory bolts under there. And then under here, there's going to be a plate they give you to set in the cross member here, and 2 bolts they give you. So easy. And it looks good. It provides more clearance in the back here, whereas a typical full width bumper would have more to get hung up on. Downside is it leaves these corners exposed. Upside is you have the option to install these corner guards. The rear fascia cover kit. It's 3 pieces. Driver's side, this middle, and then passenger side. They go all the way and follow the angle of the rear here, and they tuck under, provide you with good coverage. These are probably the most complicated part of any installing you do on this trio, but it's not that bad. You do have to drill holes into your sheet metal, which can be nerve-wracking. Just go slow and move up slowly to whatever the dimensions they specify are. Now the top just have regular bolts through them. I mean the bottom, I should say. The top here you use rivet nut certs, and it comes with a little kit. I didn't try it. I just bought the Astro Pneumatic tool on Amazon, which pays for itself instantly. It's really easy to use, and as long as you're careful with it, don't try to squeeze the daylights out of it, it's not going to break. But it made installing these nut certs very easy. The middle piece is just decorative, in my opinion. There's no need to put it there other than to keep the look uniform. But in the directions they do have you, they say to have a friend hold these in place all at the same time and mark the holes to make sure they line up properly. I did it by myself, and naturally this centerpiece didn't quite fit in there perfect, so I kind of had to take the bolts out of these and wedge it in there, and so mine does have a little give here, but it's decorative, so it's not a big deal. So for the spare tire delete here, I did have the Warn JL Elite rear bumper and tire carrier, and it puts a lot of weight on the back end of the vehicle. Now it does take that weight off the tailgate and puts it on the frame, but it's still pretty heavy to open the door, unlike this, which is just couldn't be easier. And it also weighed the rear of my vehicle down a good bit. I have the 3.5-inch RK X Factor lift, and the rear end did sag a little bit due to all the weight on the back here. So I think this looks good and keeps the weight off the rear. If I'm going off-roading, I'll probably just throw my spare in the back and tie it down with ratchet straps. If I'm on the highway, I have AAA, no big deal. For this kit here, as you can see, there's a cutout to run the camera and the third brake light wiring. You use your original third brake light, and they provide a little LED for your license plate light with pigtails. Now in the instructions, they have you use 6 feet of wire to tap into your passenger side tail light. I have blind spot monitoring, and there is a lot going on in that tail light. I did not want to risk tapping into that. Electronics can be sensitive in these, so I really didn't want to risk that. So what I did, my JL came with the rear parking sensors, and the OEM license plate light comes off of that harness. So I just peeled away the rest of the harness and just used the the license plate light and ran it up through there and under some heat shielding, and basically it comes out underneath the tray that hides the jack. So I'm not going to pull it out, but underneath the jack there's a little hole, a little vent that I ran the wires up through. Comes up through here, through this, along with my CB coax cable and grounding strap, into here, through the vent behind this, and cleanly up into here. So, looks pretty good. I think this is the best tire delete kit they have. I think it looks better than pretty much all of the other ones. The only downside is I don't think they got the camera angle correct. I've tried adjusting it and you can't really adjust it. Problem is, when you have your reverse camera on, the lines are not parallel to the ground. As you can see, they're tilting up, which provides a very awkward angle when you're using them to try to back into a space or something. It looks weird and it feels weird. So I've elected to just turn them off, which is easy enough to do. And there we go. You do lose that functionality, which was nice, but you know, oh well. It's not a deal killer. Another thing that I just thought of, if you have the OEM tow package, this bracket here, it connects the two outer bolts for the 4 bolts that hold your trailer hitch on. This bracket sits in the front here, and the way it works, I don't know if you can see this, but it has cutouts for the 2 bolts right here, but these here have welded on nuts. And so I just flipped the bracket around to this side and reversed the bolts, put them the other way and ran them through, because these brackets, unless you cut them off and this top thing here, it interferes with the back plate here and you can't install it. So I mean, you could just find some nuts and do it that way, but I just reused the bracket. It's not really interfering with anything in the back here. So yeah, I don't believe it told you anywhere in the directions about that, but that was my solution. Just undo the outer 2 bolts, pull them out, put the bracket on the back side of this cross member, and then put the bolts through going this way instead of going that way, and then torque them down. But that was my solution. Anyway, I'm very happy with this trio here, the spare tire delete, the fascia guard, and the rear bumper. I think it looks good, and I think it's really tough. I've been really impressed with Rusty's products, and definitely recommend them. Anyways, thanks for watching. Like, rate, subscribe. If you have any questions, let's leave a comment.